How you doing, guys? There's really been a lot going out in the TV broadcast camcorder software plugin stuff, so we're gonna actually do this in two separate videos to try to cover everything instead of one long video. They're kind of separate, but yet still very similarly related. And first thing we're going to talk about is Final Cut Pro 10. They're coming out with yet another update. And it's really to concentrate on one area of support they're going to be doing, which I'm going to talk about now. So let me go ahead and go over some of the new features coming out soon. Multi-channel audio editing tools and import, multi-channel audio. Dual viewers, and right now Final Cut Pro 10 only supports one viewer. MXF plugin support and Red camera support. Now, I primarily wanted to cover this because I want to cover the MXF plugin support, which is for XF100 camcorders, which I do have the XF100. Now, Canon itself came out with developed a new plugin for Final Cut Pro 10 itself that allows native importing into Final Cut Pro 10. And so now you don't have to use third-party workarounds, which is great. Now, we're specifically going to talk about Apple's version of the MXF plugin. And what that's going to do is allow native editing of the MXF file format without converting it to a QuickTime file such as ProRes or depending what settings you have in preferences for Final Cut Pro 10. And just to let you guys know, MXF is just a wrapper for the MPEG-2 file format which it contains, which is what DVDs use. And there's also something new on the Canon camcorder support, and this is going to be, they're going to be adding support for XF camcorders, an extra resolution, which is 1440 by 1080 at 35 megabits per second. And basically what that's going to do is allow cameras to be compatible with a broadcast standard for television at that resolution. Now, some of the XF camcorders right now do support that resolution, which is 1440 by 1080, but at a much lower bit rate. So this is going to up the standard of quality. And now that resolution actually uses a rectangle pixel rather than square. So when you actually view it in a, let's say, a HD TV or monitor or something, it will actually look like a 1080p wide picture, which would really actually be a 1080i, really. So that rectangle actually fills out the picture more than what you would see for a 1440 square pixel. And now that's going to cover all the Canon's XF series, which is XF100 and 105 models, as well as the XF300 and 305 models as well. And that's going to be available at the end of May. And I plan to get that as well for my camcorder, and I might actually make a separate video on how to update the firmware.